finally made it to the pinnacle. How long you waited for the antidote? Salute me like a 5-star general. Now strike a pose for the camera, yo, and go left to right, left to right.
Hi all, welcome to Rant Football. I'm your host Phil. The green screen I'm having problems with today, so bear with me with this first video of us being back with you. You may have already seen Andrew's video, and the good news, I won't always be doing the videos with green screen because I'll probably be doing them at work, so I won't have to mess about as much. The green screen's just being an arse, quite frankly. And on this episode I'm going to be talking all things Chelsea because Andy G does Man United. So if you want your Man United news, you go to Andy's videos. You want Chelsea, you come to me. And on this episode we're going to be talking about Chelsea's first pre-season friendly at home behind closed doors. We're going to be talking about who Cundy thinks should be the next England manager and my opinion on that. Plus we're going to move across to the news on the transfers, what's going on. Obviously, the big one on Haaland. So everybody sit back and relax and let's get into this news. So as you know, pre-season, Chelsea started off pre-season on emphatic form. It was behind closed doors. So I'm going to read it from the Fifth Stand app. What is the Chelsea official app, people? And by the way, will be that probably where you'll be able to watch a lot of pre-season friendlies. So Chelsea's pre-season work stepped up a notch in Cobham's sunshine on the hottest day in the year, may I add. On Saturday morning, as 22 players got to play their first minutes of the summer in a friendly against Peterborough United. Now, the Blues have been training under a watchful eye of the new manager from last year, Thomas Tuchel, for the past few days at the East Surrey base, with the likes of Christian Pulisic, Tammy Abraham, Cullen Hudson-Odoi have reported back to last week following their summer breaks. And to think there's still players to come back because of the Euro finals. What was a shame that England lost. Our latest excursion saw a newly promoted championship side opposition invited to Cobham for a training match in which Tuchel fielded two separate teams, first and second half, in order to spread the earned minutes around the squad. Now, the July heat added to the workout for those involved, which featured people you wouldn't even think of anymore, quite frankly. Trios like Ross Barkley, maybe Marcus Alonso as starters as well. Now, the Posh actually opened the scoring from the penalty spot from Tuchel's men, finished as well. And the contest first half is, it's ended quite well for us, I should say, as Abraham Pulisic hit back for us. And the latter also were a spot kick that we had won. Now, people, all the 10 outfield players were altered at the start of the second half period, with Ruben Loftus-Cheek back, Brozier, Gallagher and Hakim Ziyech entering the fray. That was the Moroccan who enjoyed the most, by the way. Now, the 28-year-old netted an impressive hat-trick, the first of which was finding off the underside of the crossbar following a neat play down there left from Baba Rahman, who honestly didn't think was still at Chelsea, but apparently he is. And then Brozier then teed him up with a second before the pounce on a loose pass in the box to complete the scoring late on in the game. Prior to that, Brozier had also scored as the Blues stepped up their intensity in the second half period. With our Premier League Open against Crystal Palace now just a few weeks away, Thomas Tuchel will hope to step preparations the days to come with pre-season friendlies against Bournemouth, Arsenal, Tottenham, and all planned in the coming weeks. Now, I know the Bournemouth game is on the Fifth Hand Stab and the Chelsea website, so if you want to watch it for free, by all means do that. Definitely for the UK, but as I know, VPN, people, VPN. So we're going to get into the next story, really, and this one is what I heard a certain Jason Cundy say on TalkSport. He said, if Gareth Southgate walked away now, who should take over as England manager? And he said Frank Lampard. I get the idea. Frank works well with youngsters. He did it at Chelsea. But what I worry about Frank is, as a Chelsea fan, is he experienced enough to win a tournament himself? Does he need a bit more time? Would England be the right fit for him? Personally, I think Frank deserves a full-time job to get his gears going again. He would be great with the youngsters. He's proved that at Chelsea. But we did see with more experience, when more bigger players came in, Frank struggled, things didn't go his way, and unfortunately he got let go at Chelsea being ninth. And you saw what Thomas Tuchel did with the exactly same players. He made sure they got top four and he won the Champions League. He lost the FA Cup final, so be it. But That was the new rules, and I don't want to get into that anyway. But that's it. So Frank, would he be a good choice for me? Yes. Do I think he should take it? No. I think Frank Lampard should wait a little bit longer, just to get a bit more experience. Let Southgate do what he deserves to do. He's got England to a World Cup semi-final, a European Cup final himself, and lost on penalties to a team that's nearly not lost a game in 3 years. So Gareth Southgate, I think, has the rights to take on England for one more run and try and get to a World Cup, and let's hope he wins it for us. Now the final story is transfer news, and the only guy Chelsea fans are talking about: will it happen, won't it happen, will we have to spend big, could we done players? Well, unfortunately the player thing isn't going to happen, it looks like, and it looks like if we want him really, we're going to have to spend big. And obviously Chelsea Chiefs are left surprised by the news. Haaland transfer development in after talks. This is from the Express Sports people. Obviously I'll put it in the show notes at the bottom if you want to click on it and read it yourself. So Chelsea are said to be surprised by reports in the press that claim Borussia Dortmund would be willing to sell Haaland for 150 million this summer. The Blues were prepared to smash their transfer record of 71.6 million, what was for Kepa in 2018, to sign the Norwegian goal-scoring machine. In fact, the European champions are prepared, European champions, my head, to spend over 100 million on the player for the first time in our history of a club. Now, Frank Lampard splashed 220 million last summer as Chelsea waved goodbye to their transfer ban in style, but now the new number 9 is top of their priority list. Unfortunately, Werner didn't quite work there, unfortunately. You never know, second season he could come good. I think he'll be better, but maybe he needs to play off the top man. They've made it clear, Chelsea obviously, that they need Haaland, and Dortmund have made it clear that they don't want to sell. Now, in stance, reaffirmed Chelsea took too long discussions over a player over this week. Things didn't happen. Chelsea didn't get him. The Blues promised the idea of offering cash plus Tammy Abraham and Callum Hudson-Odoi, but Dortmund didn't entertain this. What I do not get, people, think about it. Dortmund's lost 2 quality players. They would have had nearly 200 million plus to spend on new players. Plus, they would have had 2 new players as well in there who are quality players. This didn't make sense to me. So you would have got Hudson-Odoi, Tammy Abraham, plus money, plus your money for Sancho. You go out there and sign another player or 2. You've brought 2 quality players in from Chelsea. Madness, in my opinion. Madness. The Blues are in the opinion that, unfortunately, they won't sell Haaland to us. Dortmund are now in a strong position to keep hold of Haaland. This is the problem, following the Sancho transfer to Manchester United. Understandably, the Bundesliga outfit believe it will be hard to replace the star attacker in one transfer window. You may not be able to replace him, but as I keep on saying, you would have 2 quality players from Chelsea. You could have bought another player in 2 players. You could have built a better squad. You may have lost 1 quality player, but you could build a better squad team. So they prefer him going like next season. And that is because Haaland's 64 million release clause is set to become active next summer, when a number of clubs are expected to enter the table. Yet again, it probably only hit 75 million, 80 million because of the transfers, and then Haaland will just choose who he wants to go to. I don't think this is actually great business from Dortmund. I've always been impressed by their business and how they bring in players and sell them for a load more. This one makes no sense to me. I think the players they would have bought in from Chelsea as well, plus the money from Sancho and that, they would have been title contenders in Germany. Haaland, I heard rumours were it was in England. I think he would suit Chelsea. The young players, I think he would fit in perfectly. And I honestly think he would have made Chelsea a, transfer gods for him. And this would have been making Chelsea Premier League title contenders finally. Now, Chelsea will probably have to get rid of players the likes of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Ross Barkley, Bakayoko, Zappacosta, they're saying on here. Furthermore, Tammy Abraham, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Kurt Zouma and Hakan Ziyech. Now, I don't 100% agree with this. I would keep Ziyech. I would probably keep Hudson-Odoi. I would keep Loftus-Cheek and maybe let the rest go. Personally, Tammy Abraham's great, but I don't think he is the man what can lead Chelsea to titles. I hope he goes away and I hope he proves me wrong, but that's how I feel about it. A few players have to come out, definitely people like Ross Barkley and that, and it would be good if we can't get Haaland in. We need to go through Lukaku. Is still my number 1 choice, and then maybe even Griezmann from Barcelona. Obviously with Barcelona with their money problems, they can't pay all these big transfers, they need to let players go. Griezmann's an experienced player, the risk being he's not Premiership known, and neither is Haaland, but the age of Haaland makes a risk less to me. But Lukaku knows the Premier League inside out. I think he bulked up too much when he was at Man United, and it was a big mistake that he made. But now I think, look what he did at Inter Milan. He wasn't bad for Belgium in the tournament as well. I think he could be another reason that Chelsea, Werner could play off of him, and we could be title contenders with that also. So anybody, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please subscribe to Epic Shows, like this video, comment down below what you think about Haaland. Would you get him in? Who would you get rid of at Chelsea? And if you couldn't get Haaland, who would you like to get in as a player? As I said, Epic Show, there's so many stuff on here. There's Rant Football, Ghost Aliens and Beyond, what is actually just going moving over to a podcast eventually. And obviously the big show on there, the Epic Florida Project. There's something for everyone on here, so please check it out. As I said before, Andy will be doing Man United all season. I'm doing Chelsea. Don't forget to subscribe also to Rant Sports on Twitter. That's Rant Sports with a Z at the end, because someone beat Rant Sports with an S before me. Nothing I can do about that. But guys and gals, I hope to see you all soon on the next episode of Phill G's football news on Chelsea FC, otherwise known as Rant Football.